In this video, we're going to be finding the inverse function of a radical function. So notice, first of all, on step 1, the first thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and determine the range's restriction by the final constant that's being added or subtracted from the radical. And notice here, right, we have -2. Therefore, our range is going to be y is greater than or equal to -2. Next, we're going to go ahead and do as usual. We want to go ahead and switch our x and y. So I'm going to go ahead and take this f of x and I'm going to change it to a y. Remember, it represents y. And then I'm going to rewrite this as the square root of x plus 8 minus 2. Now when I switch these, I'm going to take the x and I'm going to move it to the left where the y is, and I'm going to take the y and move it to the right where the x is. So therefore this becomes x is equal to the square root of y plus 8 minus 2. And now we're ready to start doing some operations. Notice step 3 says use inverse operations to move the constant. So I want to move this -2 over to the other side of the equation because we're going to try to isolate y and get it all by itself. So this is subtracting 2, so I'll do the inverse operation, which is adding 2. And whatever I do to the right side of the equation, I have to be sure to keep it balanced and do it to the left side of the equation. Now -2 and +2 cancel. And then I'm just going to rewrite this over here on the left. So it becomes x plus 2 is equal to the square root of y plus 8. Now, we do run into an issue here. We want to isolate y, but we can't do that when it's inside of a radical being added to a constant. So we need to go ahead and remove this radical. And the way that you remove a radical is you're going to square it. Anytime you square a radical, it undoes the square root. So notice it says square both sides. So I'm going to draw a set of parentheses around here and square it. Now whatever I do to the right, I must also do to the left. So I need to draw a pair of parentheses around the left and square it as well. However, on the right side of the equation, this square is canceled out by the radical. And we can simply rewrite this now as what we have inside, right, that we call the radicand, which is going to be y plus 8 is equal to, now on this left side we're going to keep that value squared for now. So we have x plus 2 squared. Now I'm going to move it up just a little bit. Notice in step 5, because we have officially squared both sides, it says use inverse operations to move constant and isolate y. Okay, so now notice we just have y plus 8. If we want to isolate it, we just simply need to subtract this 8 that's being added to it, right? And that way they cancel out on the right side. But we've got to remember to subtract 8 from the left side of the equation as well. So let's go ahead and rewrite it. So currently what we have here is we have x plus 2 squared minus 8, because we can't subtract this 8 from the 2, right? Because this is being squared, you would have to do that exponent first, take care of it. And this is simply equal to y. So we're really close to being done at this point. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to do step 6, which says rewrite the equation with y on the left. Okay, so I'm going to take this y value and just move it over here to the left. Y is equal to, and I'm going to go ahead and write what we have on the left side of the equation. Now, x plus 2 squared minus 8. So we just took that, brought it down, and notice just like a pancake, right, we picked it up, flipped it over. That way the y is on the left. Now our final step here, because we're almost done, is going to be to write the final answer using function notation indicating inverse And note domain's restriction as found by the value added or subtracted from x. So we're going to go ahead and rewrite this real quick. I'm going to go ahead and put my inverse function notation, which is going to be f of x. And we have that to the negative 1 over here is equal to x plus 2 close parentheses squared minus 8, and then I'm going to put comma, and I'm going to go and write my domain's restriction. X is greater than or equal to negative 2. And then that's my final answer.